Next is Finkelstein's reaction. What is Finkelstein's reaction? Is chloro or bromoalkanes when heated with sodium iodide in presence of dry acetone gives iodoalkane. Okay, so Rx plus NaI, dry acetone, gives Ri plus NaX. Here X is equal to Cl or Br. So you can convert chloro or bromoalkane into what? Iodoalkane. So chloro or bromoalkanes reacts with sodium iodide in presence of dry acetone to give you iodoalkane. Next reaction is Schwarz reaction. Have you come across any reaction till now whatever we have discussed where we have prepared fluoroalkanes? There is no reaction till yet where we prepared fluoroalkane. So this is the only one reaction by which you can prepare fluoroalkane, that is Schwarz reaction. Here also it's the same. Chloro or bromoalkanes when treated with metal fluorides gives you fluoroalkane. So X is equal to Cl or Br, that is chloro or bromoalkanes when heated with metal fluorides you get fluoroalkane, and the metal fluorides you can use is AgF, antimony fluoride, mercurous fluoride or cobalt fluoride. Any one you can use. You can't use HF because HF is a highly reactive acid, so that is the reason why you can't use HF for preparation of fluoroalkanes. So only Schwarz reaction is there for the preparation of fluoroalkanes. Next we'll see is the preparation of haloarenes. First is halogenation of benzene. This already we have studied in class 11th. And this proceeds by which mechanism? It's what type of reaction? It's electrophilic substitution reaction. Why does benzene undergo electrophilic substitution reaction? Because benzene has got high electron density, therefore it can easily give electrons to electrophiles. What are electrophiles? The species which is deficient of electrons. So see here, first benzene when treated with chlorine in presence of anhydrous ferric chloride, dark, what will you get? Chlorobenzene. What is the function of this Lewis acid here? It helps in the cleavage of bond between the chlorine atom. So you get what are the electrophile? Cl plus. So how is actually the reaction? This you have studied last year. It's like this, FeCl3, it's a Lewis acid. So the bond shifts here, so you get what? Cl plus plus FeCl4 the minus. So the electrophile is produced like this. Okay. So it undergoes electrophilic substitution. So if you don't write this halogen carrier here, you won't get marks because the cleavage is possible, or the electrophile can be, the chloronium ion can be produced only by the presence of what? The Lewis acid. If Lewis acid is not there, this cleavage is not possible. Same way, if it is treated with bromine in presence of ferric bromide in dark, what will you get? Bromobenzene. Okay. Now instead of benzene, I am going to take toluene. Toluene when treated with chlorine in presence of ferric chloride in dark. Now in toluene, last year you would have studied hyperconjugation, and in toluene due to hyperconjugation the electron density increases in which positions? Ortho and para position. So where will electrophilic substitution reaction take place? It will take place in the ortho and para position. So what will be the product? You get orthochlorotoluene, parachlorotoluene. Okay. Now see one more reaction I am writing here. See, when this is treated with chlorine in presence of sunlight, will it undergo electrophilic substitution reaction? Where will the reaction happen? This already we have discussed. It will take place in CH3. So what will be the product? CH2Cl, that is benzyl chloride. So here it's what? Free radical substitution. In presence of sunlight, it undergoes what? Homolytic cleavage. In presence of halogen carrier, it is undergoing what? Heterolytic cleavage to give you a halonium ion. Or here if it is Cl+, we call it as what? Chloronium ion. So this is how you will prepare it from benzene. See, next I'm going to discuss this diazotization reaction. This is in the last chapter, but I'll discuss here. What is diazotization reactions here? Ice cold solution of aniline. Ice cold solution of aniline is treated with nitrous acid at 5 degree C. Now for nitrous acid I have written what? NaNO2 HCl instead of HNO2, because HNO2 is not readily available. You have to prepare it. And how can you prepare it? By treating sodium nitrite with any acid. It's not that you have to take HCl, you can take HNO3, H2SO4, anything you can take. So ice cold solution of aniline. Ice cold means the temperature should be 0 degree C to 5 degree C or 273 to 278 Kelvin. And you get what? A compound called benzene diazonium salt. And here I will be writing it as benzene diazonium chloride. Why? Because we have taken hydrochloric acid. We get benzene diazonium chloride. I have written here chloride. It's a salt. I have written here chloride. Why? Because it's what? Cl minus. And see here, in nitrogen there is a positive charge. What is the bond between the two nitrogen atom? It's triple bond. So one of the nitrogen is giving its lone pair of electron to whom? The benzene ring. So that's why it becomes deficient of electrons. So that's why we are putting here positive charge. Okay. So why I have done this reaction is, now for preparation of certain haloarenes, we require this compound, benzene diazonium chloride. It's a very important compound. Why? Because using this compound you can prepare numerous aromatic compounds, chlorobromo iodoalkanes, benzene nitrile, benzene, all this can be prepared by benzene diazonium chloride. First we'll study Saint-Meurs reaction. Now what is Saint-Meurs reaction? Benzene diazonium chloride when treated with CuCl in presence of HCl or CuBr in presence of HBr. Is it clear? That is benzene diazonium chloride when treated with CuCl in presence of HCl or CuBr in presence of HBr, you get this entire thing is removed and you get as here chlorobenzene plus N2, and here you will be getting what? Bromo benzene plus N2. So what is Saint-Meurs reaction? Benzene diazonium salt reacts with CuCl in presence of HCl or CuBr in presence of HBr to give you corresponding chloro or bromo benzene. So that is known as Saint-Meurs reaction. Next you see here, it's Gattermann's reaction. It's somewhat similar to Saint-Meurs only, Gattermann's reaction. Now what is Gattermann's reaction is, benzene diazonium chloride or diazonium salt when treated with copper powder in presence of HCl or copper powder in presence of HBr, you get chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. Now what is the difference in the two reactions? Both are same, the reactants are same, the products are same. Here you are using CuCl or CuBr, here you are using just what? Copper powder. Only that is the difference in Saint-Meurs reaction and Gattermann's reaction. Both is used for the preparation of what? Chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. Now when you compare these two reactions, Saint-Meurs reaction is a better reaction than Gattermann's reaction. Even though Saint-Meurs reaction the temperature required is high, but Saint-Meurs reaction is a better reaction than Gattermann's reaction. Why? Because the yield of the product is more. Yield is more in which reaction? Saint-Meurs reaction. So that is the reason why Saint-Meurs reaction is a better reaction than what? Gattermann's reaction, because the quantity of the product, that is chlorobenzene and bromobenzene, you get will be more in which reaction? Saint-Meurs reaction. Now next you see benzene diazonium chloride when warmed with potassium iodide, you get iodobenzene. Get iodobenzene plus N2. It's not Sandmeyer's reaction. So benzene diazonium chloride when warmed with potassium iodide, you get iodobenzene. Next we'll go to is Balchemin reaction. BALZSCHI. Balchemin reaction. Now what is Balchemin reaction? Benzene diazonium chloride reacts with fluoroboric acid to give you benzene diazonium tetrafluoroborate, which on heating gives you fluorobenzene. See here, benzene diazonium chloride reacts with fluoroboric acid to give you benzene diazonium tetrafluoroborate. Benzene diazonium tetrafluoroborate. Now this on heating, you get fluorobenzene 2 plus BF3. So this is used for Balchemin reaction, is used for the preparation of fluorobenzene. So from benzene diazonium chloride, using Sandmeyer's reaction, we can prepare chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. Then using Gattermann's reaction also, we can prepare chloro and bromobenzene. Now Sandmeyer's reaction is better than Gattermann's reaction. Why? Because in case of Sandmeyer's reaction, the yield of the product is more. Then benzene diazonium chloride when warmed with potassium iodide, we get iodobenzene. Then what is Balchemin reaction? Benzene diazonium chloride reacts with fluoroboric acid to give benzene diazonium tetrafluoroborate, which on heating gives you fluorobenzene. So here you can get conversions. Convert aniline to chlorobenzene, aniline to bromobenzene, aniline to iodobenzene, aniline to fluorobenzene. So first what are you going to do? You will convert aniline to what? Benzene diazonium chloride, and then you will convert it into the given compound. Suppose the question is, convert aniline to iodobenzene. So you have to convert aniline to iodobenzene. So how will you do it? So making aniline, you have to convert it into iodobenzene. So first you will treat it with what? Nitrous acid. Temperature is what? 0 degrees C to 5 degrees C. So you will get benzene diazonium salt. Then you will treat first it with what? Fluoroboric acid. And then what will you do second? Heat it. So what are you getting? Sorry. You have to warm it with what? Potassium iodide. So you'll get what? Iodobenzene. So this is how you'll do conversions. Next is physical properties of haloalkanes. Okay. Now first we'll see the solubility of haloalkanes. Now see, haloalkanes, just I'm making one, CH3Cl. They are polar in nature. Why they are polar in nature? Chlorine is more electronegative than carbon, or in general, halogens are more electronegative than carbon. So where will the electron pair shift? Towards the halogen. So it gets what charge? Partial negative charge. And the carbon will get what charge? Positive charge. So they are polar in nature. So haloalkanes are polar in nature. So when you compare this haloalkane, due to the polarity, when you are dissolving it in water, it should become what? Soluble. But haloalkanes, they are very partially soluble in water. In general, we can say haloalkanes are insoluble in water. Very little will be soluble in water or miscible in water. So why is haloalkane insoluble in water? So general, what we do, what we say, when a compound is not soluble in water means it's not able to form what? Intermolecular hydrogen bond with water. So that way it's correct only, but the exact reason is not that only. That is, haloalkanes are insoluble in water because they are not able to form hydrogen bond with water. So if a question comes in your exam, why haloalkanes are insoluble in water, and if you write haloalkanes are insoluble in water because they are not able to form intermolecular hydrogen bond with water, means you will just get half marks. The exact reason you see here, when you are dissolving a haloalkane in water, so there's haloalkane, water, so the bond has to be broken here. In this case also the same, the bond has to be broken. Then when haloalkane is coming in contact with water, a new bond is formed between these two. So the energy required to break the bond in haloalkane molecule and the energy required to break the intermolecular hydrogen bond in water molecule is greater than the energy released during the formation of a new interaction between haloalkane and water molecule. So is it clear? So that is the reason why haloalkanes are insoluble in water. That is the energy required to break the intermolecular force of attraction in haloalkane molecule and the intermolecular hydrogen bond in water molecule is greater than the energy released when a new interaction is coming between haloalkane and water molecule. So that is the reason why haloalkanes are insoluble in water. So energy required for bond cleavage is greater than energy released during bond formation. So is it clear? That is, the energy required to break the interaction between haloalkane molecules and the intermolecular hydrogen bond in water molecule is greater than the energy released when a new interaction is formed between haloalkane and water molecule. So that is the reason why haloalkanes are insoluble in water. Now haloalkanes are soluble in organic solvents. Now what can be the reason for that? Why haloalkanes are soluble in organic solvents? Here the energy required to break the interaction in haloalkane molecule and organic solvent molecule is the same as the energy released when the new interaction is formed between haloalkane molecule and the organic solvent. That is, energy required to break bonds is equal to energy released during bond formation. So energy required to break bond is equal to energy released during bond formation. So that is the reason why haloalkanes are soluble in organic solvents. So is it clear? So haloalkanes are insoluble in water, but they are soluble in organic solvents. They are insoluble in water because the energy required to break the interaction between haloalkane and hydrogen bond molecule in water molecule is greater than the energy released during the new interaction is formed between haloalkane and water molecule. But in case of organic solvents, what happens? The energy really required to break the bond in haloalkane and organic solvents is equal to the energy released during the new interaction forming between haloalkane and organic solvent. Next is boiling point of haloalkanes. I am writing the homologous series here. See here, CH3Cl, C2H5Cl, C3H7Cl, C4H9Cl. So it goes like this. So what is happening? The halogen atom is same, only what is different here? The alkyl groups are different. So how does the boiling point vary as we go down in the homologous series? Now as we go down the homologous series, what is happening to the number of carbon atom and hydrogen atom? It is increasing. So the size is increasing and the mass, molar mass is also what? Increasing. So when size and molar mass increases, Van der Waals force of attraction will increase. So when Van der Waals force of attraction increases, boiling point will increase. So in general, what can you say? As we go down the homologous series, if if the halogen atom is same, then what happens? The boiling point is increasing. Why is the boiling point increasing? Because the size and mass of the alkyl group is increasing. So greater the van der Waals force, more will be the boiling point. So that is the first point. Now next you see here, I've taken CH3Cl, CH3Br, CH3I. Here what is it? The alkyl part is remaining the same, only what is different? The halogen atoms are different. So here also the reason is same. As the size of the halogen atom increases, its mass also increases. So what will happen to the boiling point? The boiling point will increase. So which will have the highest boiling point? CH3I greater than CH3Br greater than CH3Cl. So this is the reason for the boiling point. Next you see, in case of isomeric haloalkanes, how does the boiling point vary? Now let us take C4H9Cl. All the isomers, I am just going to write it here. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2Cl. This is what? N-butyl chloride. Next is CH3, CHCl. CH2, CH3, this is sec-butyl chloride, and CH3, CH, CH3, CH2Cl, this is isobutyl chloride, this is tertiary butyl chloride. Now in all these cases the molecular mass remains the same, only their structures are what? Different. So listen here carefully. As branching increases, the molecules will assume spherical shape, and when they assume spherical shape, the surface area will decrease, and when surface area decreases, van der Waals force of attraction will decrease. So this is all general things, that is, when branching is increasing, the molecules will assume spherical shape, and when they assume spherical shape, the surface area will decrease, and when surface area decreases, the van der Waals force of attraction also will decrease. Now see here, in case of N-butyl chloride, all the carbon atoms are in what? Straight chain. So this is having maximum surface area, so the van der Waals force is maximum. Then comes what? Sec-butyl chloride and isobutyl chloride. Here the branching is more because methyl group is a bulky group. Here the branching is less. And then you see here, this has got the maximum branching. So this will have the least surface area. So this all molecules will assume what? Spherical shape. Sec-butyl chloride, isobutyl chloride and tertiary butyl chloride, all of them have got what? Branches. But the branching is maximum in which one? Tertiary butyl chloride. So this will have the least surface area, and therefore the van der Waals force of attraction will be less. So the boiling point will be least for this. Then comes for what? Isobutyl. Then comes for sec-butyl. So what will be the order? This greater than, this greater than, this greater than. So this is the order of boiling point for what? Isomeric haloalkanes. That is, as branching increases, the molecules assume spherical shape, and therefore surface area decreases and van der Waals force of attraction decreases. Now when you compare haloalkanes with hydrocarbons, haloalkanes has got higher boiling point than hydrocarbons, because hydrocarbons are what? Non-polar in nature, and haloalkanes are what in nature? Polar in nature. Now when you compare haloalkanes with all the other functional group which you have to study, that is alcohols, ethers, aldehydes, ketones, amines and carboxylic acids, haloalkanes has got the least boiling point because their polarity is less compared to alcohols, amines, carboxylic acids, aldehydes, ketones and ethers. Next we will discuss the chemical properties of haloalkanes. Now haloalkanes undergoes nucleophilic substitution reaction. So what is a nucleophile? Nucleophile is a species which can donate electrons. That means they are electron rich species are known as what? Nucleophile. They'll have negative charge, or if they are neutral, they'll be having what? Lone pair of electron. So haloalkanes undergoes what type of reaction? Nucleophilic substitution reaction. Haloalkanes undergoes nucleophilic substitution reaction. So what is nucleophilic substitution reaction in case of haloalkanes? We'll see. See here, I'm writing a reaction, Rx plus Nu. So this is a nucleophile. You get R nucleophile plus X minus. Now listen here. This halide ion itself is a nucleophile. So this is being replaced by another nucleophile. So what type of nucleophilic substitution reaction is taking place in haloalkanes? In case of haloalkanes, a strong nucleophile replaces what? The weak nucleophile, that is the halide ion. That is, the nucleophile which you are substituting should be stronger than what? The halide ion. Suppose this nucleophile is weak, then it cannot replace what? The halide ion, that is X minus. Why? X minus itself is a nucleophile. So the nucleophile which you are going to substitute should be stronger than what? The halide ion. So what type of nucleophilic substitution reaction it is? A strong nucleophile is replacing a weak nucleophile in case of what? Haloalkane. So this is the general reaction. So we will be using the nucleophiles which are stronger than what? The halide ion. Okay. So first reaction is replacement by OH minus. Now see here, a haloalkane when treated with aqueous KOH. Here which is the nucleophile? OH minus, aqueous alkali, NaOH also you can use. You are going to get what? ROH plus KX. That means you are getting a alcohol. So this is the first nucleophilic substitution reaction. See, if you are taking CH3, CH2Cl plus KOH aqueous, you will get CH3, CH2OH plus KCl. That is, you are getting alcohol. So haloalkane can be converted to alcohol. Same way we have studied what alcohols can be converted to haloalkane. So this is the first reaction. Next is replacement by NH2 minus group. Now see here, a haloalkane when treated with alcoholic ammonia, you get RNH2 plus HX. This is which amine? It's a primary amine. Actually the reaction doesn't stop here. If this is in excess, it stops only after the formation of quaternary ammonium salt. That we'll discuss in the last chapter, that is in amines. Now if you're taking CH3, CH, CH3, CH2Br, that is isobutyl bromide, and you're treating it with ammonia, alcoholic, the product will be what? CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, NH2. What is the name of this amine? 1, 2, 3. 2-methyl propane 1 amine. Okay, so haloalkanes reacts with alcoholic ammonia to give you primary amine. Haloalkanes reacts with aqueous KOH to give you what? Corresponding alcohol.